Now here on ITV, celebrating the birth of the royal baby, and in a change to our schedule, it's over to the ITV newsroom.
Good afternoon. We're breaking into normal programmes to bring you the news that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are expected to leave hospital with their new baby girl shortly. The sister to Prince George was born at the Lindo Wing in Paddington at 8:34 this morning, weighing in at 8 pounds and 3 ounces. Now, this is the scene right now outside the Lindo Wing at St Mary's Hospital in West London, and I'm going to talk you through what has happened so far today. Well, the initial announcement was truly modern, arriving on Twitter, but there was plenty of tradition too. A town crier standing on the steps of the hospital to announce to waiting crowds, welcoming the princess with, as he put it, his humble duty. Minutes later, Buckingham Palace confirmed the new arrival with a formal bulletin placed on an easel just inside the gates. It was signed by medical staff at the hospital saying the Duchess of Cambridge was safely delivered of a baby daughter. And that message was shared at the top of BT Tower too, with an illuminated display proclaiming it's a girl. And sailors on the HMS Dragon congratulated the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge by spelling out the words sister on the flight deck. So the new princess will be fourth in line to the throne, and she doesn't know it yet, of course. But this little one already occupies a unique place in British constitutional history. She is the first female royal heir who cannot be superseded by a male heir born after her. Now, ITV News will be on air from now until the nation's first live sighting of the new royal baby with her proud parents. Do stay with us. I promise, I guarantee you will not miss a thing. So during our coverage, we'll be live with our correspondents at Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace and Kate's hometown, Bucklebury, for all the events and the reaction. And we have, of course, got our royal commentator, Eve Pollard, who is here with me in the studio. But first, let's go to our royal editor, Tim Hewitt, who's with the happy crowds waiting excitedly outside the Lindo Wing at St Mary's Hospital. Now, Tim, we can't see you, but we can hear you. Explain.
Well, I've been told to sit down, Mary. You probably remember this from a couple of years ago when something's about to happen, when these famous doors at the Lindo Wing are about to open. Broadcasters have to get out of the way to make space for the literally hundreds of photographers and cameramen who are lining up behind us. What we're waiting for now is not for a glimpse of the royal baby, but a sight of Prince William. And here he comes, bang on time. Questions being shouted, a large wave. Let's see if he says anything.
How's your daughter? How's she doing?
Very happy, thank you.
Fantastic.
There you are. Well, I think you probably heard that. He said he was very happy, and so he should be, with a lovely new daughter driving off. We understand to go back to Kensington Palace. There can only be one reason for that, Mary, and that is to bring Prince George back here. And that, of course, is the shot that everybody here wants to get, and possibly the whole family together when Kate leaves this hospital, we think, probably in about, well, maybe an hour and a half's time. But William will be back shortly. Until then, there isn't going to be very much to see here, just a very anxious wait carrying on.
Well, Tim, you know from last time, it's 21 months, isn't it, since you were standing in probably exactly that spot. The fact that there isn't very much to see or indeed talk about isn't going to stop us coming back to you, so brace yourself. We understand that Prince William will be brought by his dad back to the hospital. Is that a guarantee or is that speculation at this stage?
I'm sorry, if that was for me, Mary, there's so much hubbub here. I couldn't really hear you. It's got very, very noisy now because all the broadcasters are now jabbering away. But I think you were talking about what happened 21 months ago when Prince George was brought out of this hospital. That too was live on television. That came at the end of a very long wait. A moment of tremendous excitement, and on that occasion William and Kate, with Prince George in their arms, came up in front of the cameras and talked to us, and we are certain that that's going to happen again. So if you're patient, you will see not only obviously William and Kate and the baby, we hope that Prince George will be with them as well.
All right, for the moment, Tim, thank you very much. And Eve, we've got so much to talk about here, haven't we? And you and I were sitting here 21 months ago as well. Mm-hmm. How different is it this time, do you think, in the run-up to this royal birth, or has it been very similar in your view?
I think it's been very similar. Prince William and Catherine have said, could we have less crowds round the hospital? And if you remember, for 3 weeks, there were hundreds of ladders and millions of photographers outside, which would have disturbed anybody else waiting to have their baby in the Lindo. But I think the excitement from abroad is just as strong. And now, of course, we have the youngest fashion icon in the world, because this little baby girl will be watched from birth. And however quiet they want her childhood and normal, she is going to be a princess in every possible way. The most powerful princess ever.
We have got pictures of Prince George being brought out of the door with his parents last time, and the excitement was extraordinary. But of course, this was a future monarch. It's a little bit different for the princess now, isn't it?
I think, interestingly, because it's a girl and because it finishes this perfect picture off, I think there will be equal excitement today. There seems to have been. I went to Buckingham Palace earlier. I've never seen such crowds. It is a bank holiday, of course. It was a nice sunny afternoon. But people heard about this on Twitter and just thought, I want to go and see that easel. I want to be part of it.
All right, well, we can go to outside the Lindo wing to Ronke Phillips, who is there amongst the crowd, so we can see what the excitement is like for ourselves. Ronke, what are you seeing there?
Well, Mary, the crowds are here in abundance. They really are. They've been arriving all afternoon. I'll just step out of the way and you can see that they're lining the entire street. All right. Waiting. And their new arrival. They've literally come from all over the world. I mean, we have one lady here. Where are you from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Now, Americans, there are a lot of you here.
Quite a few, because this is one of the most exciting events in our lives as well as yours.
What is it that excites you about the royal family so much?
Well, it's a magical event. It is something that's very romantic. Even though we have a president and a first lady and their children, there's nothing like the royal family in the United States.
And you're prepared to stay here for as long as it takes?
Yes, I am.
And if we can go over here, we also have... Sir, can I talk to you? I know you're from Prague.
I am from Prague. Good afternoon.
And you've come and you want to see this royal baby. Why?
I am on my way back to Prague and I still some hours to my flight, so I came down to see this event.
Okay, and next to you is a lady I know was here for the birth of George. So how does this compare?
Oh, this is so exciting, you know, it's brilliant, it's a beautiful little girl, and what makes it so exciting as well, you know, I'm a big fan of the royal family. I love Princess Kate, she's so humble and beautiful, you know, and I can imagine, you know, how proud the royal family is feeling today. And let's not forget Princess Diana, the late Princess Diana, how she also wanted a baby girl, and she would have felt so proud today of her son, Prince William.
Thank you so much for talking to us. And the crowds are here, as I say, from all over the world, and all of them saying they'll stay until they get that shot as a new arrival.
Okay, as will we, of course. Now, Eve, this is historically a very interesting moment, isn't it? Because this little girl is the first princess, as we alluded to in the introduction, who will never be superseded by a later son.
Well, this royal primogeniture was sorted in this parliament. In fact, it was sorted just before Prince George was born, because had Prince George been a girl, he, as it were, she would have been queen, whoever was born afterwards. Everybody decided that now we have more equality between men and women. I wish it was true, but it's more equality, that there shouldn't be this rule that men come first. And it's interesting, we have Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth II. They all became queens because there was no male heir anywhere near. This little girl is a real power princess. Even if the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have another 3 more sons, she retains her status as number 4.
And interestingly, even if she were to marry, looking ahead a little bit now,
yes,
a Roman Catholic, she would not have to give up her position as an heir to the throne.
No,
that's new as well,
true.
isn't it?
That's absolutely brand new. So, I mean, it'll be very interesting because, of course, royal princes are counselled to make wise choices. Be very interesting with a headstrong princess to say, can you make a wise choice? Because you want to have somebody who will be like her grandfather, Prince Philip, manages to walk 2 steps behind but not be diminished. A hard role.
It is indeed. Stick with us, Eve. I'm going to take you back now to Tim Hewitt, who's outside the Lindo wing. Now, I would like to have a conversation with him, but I don't think he can hear a word I'm saying because the noise is so enormous down there. But, Tim, over to you.
Yes, it is very noisy down here. There's a great buzz of excitement. A few minutes ago, just as we came on air, and my understanding is postponed so he could be live on ITV, Prince William left the Lindo wing behind me here. He came out and he's on his way back home to Kensington Palace, which isn't very far away. Spoke briefly, said he was very, very happy, and he made it clear he was going to fetch Prince George, who of course was born here at this hospital 21 months ago. The plan is to bring George back here to meet his new sister, to be reunited with his mum, who left home this morning, only about 5:45. Kate arrived here at 6 o'clock this morning in the early